Hello, everyone. Dr. Victoria Skirbo here. So we are at the tarot portion of the tarot scopes, and we're going to be looking at we're going to be doing a tarot reading, for the sign of Virgo for the month of March 2022. Virgo is a sign that's ruled by Mercury, as we said, and Mercury is in 3 different signs this month. So a lot of change, a lot of shifting. Starts the month in Aquarius, and shortly after the month starts, it moves into Pisces, and then at the end of the month, it moves into Aries. So we have a lot of movement on that Mercury. It did spend quite a bit of time in Capricorn and Aquarius at the beginning of the year, the end of last year and the beginning of this year because of Mercury's retrograde motion. But now it's moving forward, and I think most things are moving forward. So things are going to move pretty quickly. And we do have a full moon in Virgo, the last degree, either the last or the second to the last degree of Virgo, or right at the end of Virgo. So with the sun in Pisces and that moon in Virgo, we're going to get an eyeful of what needs to be healed, what needs to be fixed, what needs to be seen. And that Virgo Pisces axis is the axis of healing. And so, yeah, there'll be plenty of things to heal. All right, so let's take a look at the month ahead. I am using the Wildwood Tarot for Virgo this month. And we're just going to do a couple more shuffles here, a couple more shuffles, and we can get started. So it does feel good not to have a Mercury retrograde, does it not, Virgo? But, you guys are, both you and the Gemini, which is also ruled by Mercury. You're both mutable signs, so you're usually pretty good at going with the flow in that respect, but it still doesn't make it easy, especially when you try to be sort of an efficiency expert and nothing is being efficient. So, all right, let's take a look here. What do we have here for Virgo? Okay, we start with dun, 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 the Woodward. The Woodward. This is the 11 card in this deck. This is a card of balance. It's a card of ferocity. It is a card of justice. There's a sense of justice that we have reached. There's a sense of perhaps balance that we've come to, and it didn't just miraculously happen, mind you. It was due to a lot of work on your part, a lot of due diligence, doing your due diligence, but we come at this place of maybe rest and sort of observation. So we're sort of looking out over our environment after sort of the hard work of finding balance. Let's see what's challenging that. We have the 15 here. This is called the Guardian. This is the Devil card. The Devil card as a challenge can be too much of a focus on the earthly, the mundane. There's a pessimism that can come with this card. It's like reality and reality bites kind of energy. And so there can be a little bit of a spiritual crisis that you're going through as you say, look, I worked really hard to get to this place and still people aren't getting it. People are still acting the way they're acting. They're doing stuff against their best interests. They're being greedy. They're not sharing. They're not helping each other. You're the sign of the helper. And so you like to help. And you like to be helped on occasion, but you like to think that, we're kind of here in service to one another. And the 15 card, the devil card, the guardian card, speaks of being of service to just the person at the top, the person in charge, um, or the greed that we see all around us. We have at the root, we have the three of arrows here. This is called jealousy. We have a heart on fire. There's wounds here. This heart is bleeding, wounds. Um, there is a sense of betrayal. Perhaps you have been recently had the rug pulled out from under you, somebody that you thought you could trust, somebody who you thought maybe was on the same page as you were, ended up not being. Mainly, while the three of arrows or the three of swords can be a very difficult card because it's about heartbreak and it's about pain, it's also about freedom. And sometimes that frees you from a situation that you otherwise wouldn't have left. Let's see what's in the past. We have the Queen of Bows. This is the Queen of Wands. This is somebody who is loyal, somebody who is warm and generous. It's an energy of feminine support, um, and support within your spiritual endeavors. So that in the past is a nice energy. There's a sense of being taken care of, being nurtured. Perhaps you want to go back to that point. Perhaps you're thinking fondly of the past when your needs were met and you were taken care of and people were nice to you and all the rest, because that may not be what you're experiencing right now. In the sky, we have the Three of Stones, which is called creativity in this deck. This is an ability to manifest on the physical plane, doing the work that you love. So there is opportunity out there. There's opportunity for creativity. There's opportunity to build something that's lasting. We see this woman leaning against these sacred stones that were put there thousands of years ago and still stand there. So there's a stability. There's a sense of stability and security, and that a job well done is rewarded. So for Virgo, who really does love to work, this is a good omen. This is a good omen. This is what Spirit is offering you. We have the Knight of Vessels here. This is the Knight of Cups. In this deck, he's an eel. The Knight of Cups can be a little tad bit eely, in that not necessarily a little slippery, right? A little slippery. They say one thing, they expound about love, and then they sort of like, you got my poem, now I'm going to leave and go find greener pastures. So you do need to be a little circumspect about what lies ahead of you, especially when it comes to people making promises that they can't keep. They may be well-intentioned. It doesn't necessarily, the Knight of Vessels doesn't always indicate somebody who's not well-intentioned, but they tend to be on the idealistic side. And sometimes, we live in a very human and a very earthy situation. And, our best intentions sometimes fall quite short. And so we do have to be aware. That being said, the Knight of Vessels can also be an inspiration. It can be a poem. It can be a creative endeavor. The Knight of Cups is a 39-3 vibration. 3 is about creative self-expression. So this can be an opportunity for you to sort of wax poetic, perhaps. So if you're doing the creation and you're doing the waxing poetic and you're the one exploring those realms, that's great. If somebody's coming to you with promises of love and forever and all this other stuff, and this is wonderful, you just need to be circumspect. You just need to sort of measure it out, weigh it out. you're in the immediate environment is 11. So it's asking you to weigh things out and not be sort of dissuaded by a pretty face or a great idea um, that may be too good to be true. So there's this energy of, and I've seen it in the other readings for the other signs, there's this energy of things too good to be true, too good to be true. Just something to keep in the back of your mind. It shouldn't necessarily prevent you from exploring the more romantic, emotional, sensitive, poetic side of yourself. Just be aware that all that glitters is not gold. How people see you is the archer. This is the in this deck, this is the Chariot card. It's about swift movement. It's about being focused. It's focused intention. So people see you as very focused, which is not necessarily a bad thing. In the domestic situation, we have the Ten of Cups, the happiness card. So it looks like domestically things are looking up. There is love, there is affection, there is sort of the waters of spirit are coming down and bathing you. So that's all good. That's all good stuff happening there. Hopes and fears, protection, the Four of Stones here. You are, to a certain extent, Virgo has a I don't know if I want to call it a puppy dog quality to it, but a real like sense of, yeah, I'll help. They're always willing to pitch in. There's a childlike quality to Virgos, especially if they haven't, suffered the slings and arrows of people disappointing them. And so there is a little sensitive soul inside that Virgo, and you hope for protection. You hope for protection. The outcome, we have the 13, which is in this deck is the journey. It's the death card. It's about change. So things are changing. Things are changing. And if you are concerned about people's greed or people not getting it, or, how much longer does this have to go on before people actually realize, people are realizing, people are waking up, things are happening. Things are changing, and change starts within the self. And you've got a good start, because as this reading starts, we're in that 11 vibration. We're in that balanced place. Don't let other people's shenanigans and misdeeds pull you off of that. And if there is somebody who has done you wrong or the like, look at it as an opportunity to free yourself from a situation that is no longer serving you in some way. So we don't have to be a victim of our circumstance anymore. We just need to realize that I think every loss that seems like a loss is generally a gain when you get to the other side of it, and it certainly helps to free you up. And that energy of the death card at the end, the change card, it's like death is inevitable and things change in an inevitable way, and sometimes we just have to let go of what we think it's supposed to be and allow it to be what it is and let it go and release it. So let's see what's underneath all of this. We have the Five of Stones, which is endurance. So there can be some challenging and difficult times ahead. While we have maybe emotional fulfillment, maybe financial fulfillment is not quite there, but the opportunity for that is there. So even if you don't have the opportunity to work for something that's worth working for, is there for you. We have the Mirror card here, which is the Hanged Man. This requires us to look at life from a different perspective, look at it from a different viewpoint, and that will help you to, and also connect with spiritual. This is a Pisces vibration. Pisces is your opposite sign. So while Pisces may not be comfortable for you, because Pisces is sort of devil may care, they don't organize, they don't worry, they're just so like laissez-faire. There's a part of that that you need to have within you, just like is a part of Virgo that Pisces needs to have if they ever expect to function in the world. And then we have the Page of Vessels. So this is the Page of Cups. This is information coming in. It's quick. It's generally positive. Good news is coming your way. So you may feel a little jaded. You may feel a little exhausted, but you are in a better place than you've been. And despite the heartaches, despite um, people not seeming to get it, things are changing. And the most important thing is you anyway. So how you live your life, the integrity that you have. Um, and people will find their own balance point. And as long as you find yours, I think you'll be okay. Well, I hope you enjoyed that reading. Like and subscribe, and I will see you again next month in April for the Taroscopes for the sign of Virgo. Much love, everyone. Namaste.